In this video, we're kicking off the build of our camper. We rented a workspace and got it ready for some serious hustling. And now the real fun begins. First, we strip the fan down completely, then start building the floor, add anti-drumming plates to the walls, and even cut the very first holes for our windows. And place the windows, which didn't go exactly to plan. We're Brendan and Sanne, an architect and electrical project manager. Let's get started. Welcome to our first video. After years of dreaming of our own campervan, we decided to take the leap and bought a van to convert to a camper just the way we want it to be. As an architect and electrical project manager, we have some great work experience in the back of our pockets to make this an amazing van conversion. A van where form meets function, where design and aesthetics shape every decision, and where an extensive off-grid electrical system will power true independence. We decided to rent a workspace to make the whole build a lot easier. We're from the Netherlands, which equals gloomy and rainy days, so building it outside in front of our own house wasn't an option in our opinion. It cost a bit more money, but looking back it was the best decision we made, and it did make the whole build much easier. We have safe and dry storage, enough space to work, a roof over our heads, and we save a ton of time as we don't need to store all gear every single day. Welcome to our workspace! So let me show you around the workspace where we will be spending most of our time the coming months. We have a great working table over here, which was already here from the previous renter. And this is our fan, which I will tell you more about in a sec. And there's this little closed-off space in the corner. The former renter was an artist or a painter or something who did a lot of spray painting. So that's what he used this place for. This ended up being our storage space and kitchen area to keep it safe from most of the dust that we're about to produce. We have natural light via this huge roof, which is so nice. This is the place. And as we're clearing out the van, let me tell you a little bit about the van. It's a second-hand Fiat Ducato from November 2021 with about 80,000 kilometers on the clock. It's in a really good condition with barely any damage. This is my brother, who is bringing us his old camping chairs, which we can use here. Of course, we have to show him the van and tell him all about our plans. And a man being man, they talk about tools and some tips are shared.
Zo door. Naar de voorkant erin en dan duiken naar achter.
Zo en dan naar doordouwen.
Ja.
When it's just the two of us again, it's time to officially begin with the build. We're starting with completely emptying the van and doing a thorough clean, which is really needed, because we want to start with a clean and fresh van. Let's dive in. Underneath the floorboard, we found some tiny rusty spots, but overall it looks pretty good. We're sanding off the bits of rust and then cover it with a hammerite metal paint to prevent more rust in the future. Obviously, I'm not going to watch Brandon do all the work, so I'm getting a crash course in using some of the tools because I'm planning on getting my hands dirty. I already know my way around most tools and I'm pretty handy, so I learned quick. Brandon used to work in the field as an electrician using many tools daily, so he's already a pro with the tools anyway. So nice and white, but we ran out of white hammerite, so for the second layer we moved on to black paint and transformed our floor into a zebra. Luckily, we're never going to see that ever again. The wooden floor we took out earlier is a great mold for our vinyl flooring, which is a concrete look vinyl. We're placing some thin cardboard on the floor to safely place the vinyl on to cut it in one piece.
Fixed bed, and this will be the pantry, cooking and dishes, and then here we have an indoor shower with a stand. It's enough for me, and this is the dinette area, so we get swivel seats. This one goes out, and here we can sit and eat dinner.
Over the course of the coming months, our family and friends come by to see our progress, but also to help from time to time. We're making some nice progress with the construction of the floor. In between the slats, we'll place insulation. Insulating the floor of a campervan is just as important as insulating the walls or the ceiling, because a lot of the heat is lost through the floor. Without insulating, cold air from the ground or the road surface can quickly make the fan uncomfortable, especially in cooler climates. A well-insulated floor helps keep the warmth inside during winter, blocks out heat from below in the summer, and even reduces road noise. In short, it creates a more energy-efficient, comfortable and livable space, no matter the season. using EPS, which is a hard insulation that's also walkable. It's easy to cut in any size you need. Besides the help on the work floor, we're also supported with food. Due to the lack of cooking equipment, it's pretty difficult to make a proper meal here, so sometimes we get a lovely dinner served. After dinner, it's back to work. All the hard work from yesterday, putting in all the insulation, and we're never gonna see it ever again. Now that the floor is finished, I'm starting with the anti-drumming plates, which will help to reduce the noise from the fan. In the meantime, Brendan is making some preparations for the electrical installation. Breaks are great for refueling our energy and to watch some videos from other builders for some tips. We're taking this column out to maximize the length of the bed and two other columns to make the space for the windows. We'll make a wooden frame that fits right between the two steel beams to win about 5 centimeters of bed length, but you'll see that in another video. It's time for the most scary part. Let's go.
Ik wil. Kun je niet meer terug, hè?
Nee.
Okay.
Ja, ik had altijd weer dichtplakken.
Zeker?
Ja. Ga ze door.
Voelt niet lekker.
Of course, everything went fine, because we checked 100 times. But it's kinda scary to make the first hole in your just bought fan that you spend a lot of money on. To prevent the steel splinters going through the fan, when we cut the hole, I'm hanging this piece of plastic underneath to catch all the metal shavings. In the meantime, Brendan protects the outside of the fan around the hole to be with tape so the jigsaw doesn't scratch the surface. Always be careful when working with metal, because you do not only want to keep the metal shavings out of the fan, but you also want to keep them out of your eyes. So make sure you wear protective eyewear.
Ja, top. Slaat mooi aan. Helemaal rondom.
Mooi is hè?
Ja. Even weinig spelen.
I think the most used fan in campers is the Max Air fan, but we opted for another one which works and looks exactly the same. It's the Vecline roof ventilator. We'll put a link below the video. Oh, and did you know we share the links to all kinds of products we used in the description? We're moving on to making the frames for the windows. While Brendan keeps working on the framing, I'm focused on removing the columns where the windows will go. To protect the surrounding metal, I'm using a piece of leftover roofing sheet as a shield. The panels are really close together and I definitely don't want to accidentally cut into the door. For the job, I'm using the Makita multi-tool, which is perfect for precise work like this. The first roof light is finally going in. It's important to use plenty of sealant, enough so that it squeezes out around the edges. That way you can smooth it down and make sure the whole frame is completely waterproof. Always make sure to degrease all surfaces before applying sealant. This step is crucial to ensure that the sealant bonds properly and gives you a strong, long-lasting hold. Also, make sure you wet your fingers with soap water so the sealant isn't sticking to your fingers. let me show you our little kitchen setup. We use the Mobicool MCF 40 AC/DC compressor as our fridge, where we store our food and drinks that need to stay cool. And this fridge can also freeze. We have a hot air pan which works like an oven where we can bake bread, and of course we have a microwave. We chose our windows from Macy's because unlike fixed windows, these can be opened, which makes a huge difference for airflow. There are also sliding windows, but we find these much more practical as we can leave them open even when it's raining slightly, because they work like a little canopy, and we can keep ventilating. The windows come with this super handy mold that you can cut from the box to make it really easy to install them. Cutting, sanding and cleaning, we put some hammerite metal paint to seal the bare edges to protect it from rust. We projected the window on the door with tape, as you can see here, concerning the height and placement. We did this on the inside as well as on the outside to give an impression of what it will look like, and here's the outside view. Since absolutely nothing in this van is straight, we built a simple tool to measure the window height from the floor. That way we can check if both windows line up between the door and the seating area, and as you can see, they don't. So we fixed that and placed the seating window a little higher to create a bit more space between the table and the window. To plan ahead, I modeled the entire van in 2D and 3D using Vectorworks, a program I use for my work as an architect. The 3D model is super basic, just to get a feel for the space, but I made detailed 2D drawings that map out every part of the build. This really speeds up the workflow since we don't have to figure things out on the spot. It is time for the side windows. Start by cutting the top of the hole first and then tape the panel to the van. This keeps it stable and prevents the metal sheet from falling once you're almost finished with the cut. You can never be prepared enough, so we're watching some installation videos on how to handle this best. And then it's basically just using a lot of sealant again. As you can see, it bulges out quite a lot, but that's good. Once you tighten the window to the wood frame, it will bulge out even more, but you can easily remove that. It's really sticky, so we use an old cloth to remove the residue. It kind of sticks to itself, so it's an easy job. I would recommend to wait like 15 to 20 minutes before you start removing, because otherwise it's still too soft and it will get messy. You'll see, learn from our mistakes. We're doing a last check with all the windows because it's time for the water test. It's raining, so we're just driving the van outside and cross our fingers that all windows are waterproof. Yeah, unfortunately one of the windows isn't, which we kind of feared already, as we felt like we didn't use enough sealant on this window. But no problem, we just take it out, clean up the leftover sealant and do it again. This time with plenty of sealant. Yeah, we kind of overdid it this time with the sealant. But at least we're sure it will be waterproof now. We nicknamed it after Venom because, well, you can see why. And if you don't know who Venom is, then Google Marvel Venom and you'll see. It's actually strangely satisfying to do this. We're closing the day with a good cleanup of the workspace. Looking back, we got so much done in just a few days. It feels good to grow, to learn new skills, and to slowly see our goals take shape. And I'm curious, are you currently working on your own van, or would you want to build your own van? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the next video, a lot is about to happen. We'll take out the seats to make room for our new swivel seats that we put up to the test. We started working on insulating the walls and the ceilings and begin with the electrics. And we even cut more holes into the van. A pile of packages arrives, big and small, and with them the first frustrations. See you in the next one.
Super fun! Oh, come on.